Hey everybody, hope you're all doing well. I hope you didn't notice how many days I've actually missed in the last few weeks of what I normally post videos on. For some reason I've been so busy I haven't been able to get videos out on time like I normally do. So to make up for it, this is the final on the Clone toy, which ended up being more of a inspired by a toy, because it don't look exactly the same, but it is the same idea. It is the same car. It is a 69 GTO Judge. I kind of did it as like a weekend racer kind of deal. Still has the seats and everything inside of it, and then he put some stickers on it, made it look cool. So this is his everyday rider kind of look. It came out pretty good in my opinion. I got some spots I burnt through when I was sanding, but I'm gonna use that as the story. That's just the spots that have wore. The guy wore out the paint somehow, and because this is not supposed to be like the perfect car, I did rust up the bottom quite a bit. I tried to make this look like it was a car that was being well used. It was being enjoyed. You know, to enjoy a car, you have to have it out on the road. So the engine was in. I made sure the engine was still in good shape. The engine looked nice and clean. But the under the chassis and everything like that was still a little rusty. There is some oil leaking out on some of the spots. So, you know, on the transmission you got a little bit of leakage. An oil pan, you got some leakage. And I did that with ink and future, so it's got some glossiness to it. It has a nice glossy look, so that way it still looks kind of wet. And then all the other stuff I did my dry brushing that I normally do. And as you can see here, I'm starting to put dates on the bottom of my cars. That's the date that actually got done. So this was done on the 21st. But also on the engine, like he replaced some of this stuff I'm going with. That's my story, part of it. And then like the muffler and that, he really don't care. They've probably got some holes in it, so it's nice and loud. So it still looks nice and rusty. The rear end is leaking a little bit. He kept on swapping out the gears, so he didn't clean up real good afterwards. The gas tank is a little rusty and all that. But that's the story behind this build that I'm going for. I did wire this one. Oh man. The hood comes off quite nicely. But I did wire this one. I did give it a little cheap wash on it, or paint on the bottom, some acrylic. Let's see if we can get that in focus. It does have the cool tack. And I did give it a nice shine. So he waxes the hell out of it. It's his pride and joy. Sometimes it's good to give your models a story, because then you have something to go by. So I did wire it. And one thing I didn't notice, I did drill the holes for it, and I thought I was putting all the wires in the holes that I drilled, but then I was actually putting them in between the headers. Because then once I looked at it from the bottom, the wires were at the bottom. I'm like, what the heck is that? And I don't notice it, because on top it looks like they went right where they're supposed to. But I did some weathering there. Got the wheel wells pretty cruddy in there. Now looking at it here, I do have to do a black wash on that. I think those are drying when I end up calling it a day. The top did shine up pretty nicely. I like how smooth that came out. Like when I painted it and I pulled that vinyl off, that was a big difference. And 2 coats of clear, 1 coat, wet sanded it really good. I wet sanded it before I put the clear on, then put clear on it, wet sanded it again, another coat of clear, wet sanded it, and then buffed it with Novus too, and that really turned out cool. So make sure I'm in focus there. I got the Judge sticker on there. I was going to paint this green, but then when I was mock fitting it up, it did a nice balance with everything being that other body color, and then it makes the Judge sticker look really cool. And I wet sanded that and burnt right through there, but that's where the guy always puts his hand on it when he's pushing him up to the line, so he's wearing the damn paint then. But all in all, this was a really good kit. I really enjoyed it. I can't even remember what it was. I think it's Revell. Yeah, it was a Revell. It's an older kit. It's been around, and it went together really well. The only thing I didn't like about it was the paint. It took me a while to get accustomed to paint. I think mostly because I did those with vinyls, and I don't know. I didn't like them right away, but as it went on, I did end up liking it. I don't know if you guys noticed, but I did sneak in the RMC on the Inspiration car. It was RCX. It was on the deck lid. I know it's on there. I didn't put no RCX on there. So I took that RCX and made it into the channel RMC, Russell Model Cars, and then the Dash 3. They had that RX Dash 3 on there. So I kept it kind of the same, and then I had the Pro 1 on the hood. Instead of putting it on the hood, I figured I'd put it on the fender. The decals that went for the hood are white, and they have the I think they say Ram Air or something like that. So, but this is another final. Got her done. It turned out pretty good when I was done with it, I thought. It was one of those builds that I kind of was not super happy with it for a long time, and I was thinking of stripping the paint off, and then, everybody was saying it looked good, and I think I'm just being overcritical. And so I ended up sticking with it. One thing that I had that Woody a while back that I did, I used the same paint I did on that it was a gunmetal, and it worked great on that model, and it just won't work good on these. So I don't know if there's something different with these wheels that I did do on the other one. It's just not working well. But since this is kind of a I wouldn't say a beater ride, but a well-used ride, them wheels ain't gonna look perfect anyhow. So there is the final on that. I hope you guys enjoyed it. Please let me know in the comments what you guys think. And this was for the Clone a Toy group build that was going on. I think it ends in a couple days. It was a lot of fun. I kind of made it inspired by a toy, which was that. I didn't want to make it look exactly the same because that paint scheme is quite weird. Because, it's such a small car. It's probably hard for them to do that. But there it is. Hope you guys have a great one. I'll talk to you later. Bye.